every spoken word, what your soul has longed for, what your heart can feel is already here, is already real.
There is no one out there, there is no one else. You hold all the answers deep inside of yourself. There's a voice that whispers, there's no you, no me. There's just one, there's just unity.
One power, one presence, one light to lead the way. All loving, all knowing, that answers when you pray.
When the world looks darkest and your eyes can see, gather all your troubles, give them all to me. I am always with you, I will always be. I am one, I am unity. We are one, we are unity.
Good morning and welcome to Unity of Ventura's online Sunday service. My name is Kat Knecht, and I'm going to be your host this morning. I want to thank you for joining us. Your presence here this morning is welcome, appreciated, and it's important. It's important because we come together as a spiritual family with one mind and one heart for the purpose of being a channel for higher consciousness. And when we do this together, when we know the truth for each other in ways that we cannot do alone, something magical happens. So thank you for being with us today. I want to take a moment now to remember who we are and what we offer. Unity of Ventura is a radiating center of spiritual well-being, famous for our incredible music, uplifting sermons, and loving fellowship. We practice and promote the principles of unity as expressed through the teachings of our co-founders, Myrtle and Charles Fillmore. We welcome people of all faiths, all lifestyles, all backgrounds, all philosophies, and all ways of thinking. And that, my friends, is why we are called unity. Now let's take that feeling of unity, this sense of oneness, to a deeper place in a prayer. We say, Dear God, thank you for this time in your presence as we join with our spiritual family in a celebration of love and peace. We affirm that your divine order is unfolding perfectly in this world, and that your plan for the highest good for all is manifesting now. We extend a blessing of love and light to one another, to our community in Ventura County, to our entire world, knowing that united in consciousness, we envision every person in the world aligning with your plan, sweet spirit. Everyone being open and receptive to allowing your spirit to express perfectly through each one of us. And from this place of love and oneness, we also give thanks for today's lesson that calls forth our spiritual growth, for the music that uplifts and inspires us, and for the wonderful spiritual family that we are. For this, and for all our blessings, we give great thanks, and so it is. Amen. We continue now with the daily word, remembering that we join with millions of other readers all over the world. Today, I've chosen the word from March 23rd, 1996, almost 25 years ago. The word is spring cleaning. The affirmation goes, now is the time to do our mental spring cleaning. The reading is this. With the approach of spring, we may begin doing some spring cleaning in our homes and garages. Spring is a time to open the windows, clean out the closets, organize the tools, and begin anew. We can also include our mental spring cleaning on our list of things to do. We can use our prayer time to do a quick mental cleanup. For now is the time to sweep out the cobwebs that may have gathered in our minds. As we turn to God in faith-filled prayer and let go of the dirt that has gathered, we quickly and easily wipe away negative thoughts and clear out past hurts that are piled in the corner. As the clutter disappears, the space that is left is quickly filled with a multitude of positive thoughts and a divinely inspired attitude. Our spring cleaning is done, and we are refreshed. This was inspired by Psalm 51, verse 10. Create in me a clean heart, O God. The word is spring cleaning. The affirmation, now is the time to do our mental spring cleaning. We now continue with our statement of truth. There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the Good. There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the Good. That's what's true. And here at Unity, that's our statement of truth. Let's prepare now for a time of quiet meditation. Get yourself into a comfortable position and open your heart. Today, focus your attention on the coming of spring, springtime, a time of birth and rebirth. That which has been lying dormant comes alive once again. Plants, animals, as well as our own consciousness begin to stir with a new life. It's an opportunity for spring cleaning, to renew and refresh your consciousness in ways that enliven and grow your spiritual well-being. So take this moment to see what you have, what's there in the closets and garages of your mind. What habits of negative thinking have you stuffed into a dark corner of your mental closet? What limiting beliefs are being stored in some old boxes there in the back of your psychological garage? Well, it's time to roll up your sleeves and pull these out of their cramped places, air them out, and clean it up. Let the creative energy of spring transform the space that's left, to fill the space that's left with empowering beliefs, with creative thoughts. And let this cleaning bring a blow of fresh springtime air into your life. Breathe that in. Breathe in the renewal that's possible right now. The rebirth, the coming of something brand new into your higher consciousness. Let it grow and blossom within you. Trust it. Whatever it is, clean out the old and open to the new. Allow the springtime energy to bloom naturally within you. It's there, it just needs a little space to grow. Let that happen. And as we bring this awareness of renewal back into our virtual sanctuary, we say, thank you, God. Thank you for all that you have brought, for this miracle of spring, for the refreshing delight it brings. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen.
Nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. Nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God.
Morning sun coming through the trees, the green leaves shining.
Nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. Nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God.
We sleep in dreams, both deep and bright, sailing through the velvet night, refreshing the soul to the spirit's delight.
Living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We are living in the heart of God. We are living in the heart of God. Nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten.
And now it is my great pleasure to introduce today's guest speaker, the Reverend Kat Knecht. As many of you know, Kat is a longtime member of Unity of Ventura, whom we know well and who has shared her vision with us many times. Today, she will share with us a message about, you guessed it, spring cleaning. Please join me in welcoming the Reverend Kat Knecht.
Well, hello. Hello there. So good to be here with you today. This is the first day after the first day of spring. Yesterday was the first day of spring, and it seems especially springy to me this year because last year, if you recall, we were sheltering in place during this time of year. So after a full year of dealing with the pandemic, it also seems especially important to do some spring cleaning. Wouldn't you say? To air things out, sort things out, make a new order in your home and in your heart. So today we're going to take a look at spring cleaning for your soul. And I have to warn you, I'm going to just give you a little bit of warning. For those of you who may not be used to my sermons, mostly this is how it goes. So I'm going to tell some stories. I'm going to put out this concept. It's philosophical, it's spiritual, but to really get the lesson, you are going to have to get into action. So there will be an assignment, and you might want to be thinking about that as we go through this sermon. Like, what is it that you might be inspired to do? Because this sermon is about the actions that you can take that actually will bring about that spring cleaning of your soul. So here we go. Now, I have heard the phrase, I'm sure most of you have, that cleanliness is next to godliness. I heard that in my childhood, but it wasn't until I was an adult that I really had this experience of cleaning out as a spiritual practice, as a way of really bringing something new about in my soul. I'm just going to say that's the word that keeps coming to me. Now, here's the story. I was in the process of selling my home. This was back when I lived in Gettysburg many, many years ago. And at the time, I had already purchased my dream house. So I was really anxious to move on, get that house sold. I did everything the real estate agent told me to prepare. Clutter-free, hangers were all white. I took down anything, off the walls that was going to distract a potential buyer from seeing the space as their dream home. But there it was, just sitting on the market unsold. And at the time, I was beginning my coach training, and someone referred a coach to me who specialized in helping people clean out their houses. Now, since I was going to be moving and packing things up, I needed to clean out anyway. I thought, well, why not give this a try? Having a cleaning up coach. So in our initial session, she did talk about the physical cleaning, the linear plan, and how she would help me, but she talked a lot more about how I would need to make choices on what to keep and what to get rid of. She told me that things hold energy. That was the first time I'd really had that notion. Things hold energy. So when we have things in our environment, I'm looking around my room right now, there's an energy that they bring. It's supportive or it actually is depleting. So this is why this was the teaching I got, that cleaning out our physical space actually changes who we are. It brings new aspects of ourselves out. So I jumped in with both feet. I began cleaning out. I really thought, man, this is going to be fun. So I was surprised on my very first day to find myself sitting on my basement stairs crying. I was facing for the first time all of the things that I had stored away and never even looked at in the many years that I'd lived in that house. And I brought most of that stuff with me a couple of moves. Oh man, it just smacked me. I was like, whoa. There were items from people who had passed, things from when my kids were little. There were things from my own childhood that reminded me of my loss, of the things that had not gone well for me, things I held on to. I would say for sentimental reasons, but when I saw them in this light, I saw the heaviness, the cleaning out energy. The light that I brought with the cleaning out energy gave me the ability to see the heaviness. Does that make sense? When we bring to a project, oh, I want to see something. I want to really see what's here. So cleaning out gives us the opportunity to see what we have. That to me is one of the biggest bonuses of cleaning out our physical space. We get to see what we have, so we can see, is this heavy, is this light? On that moment on the stairs, I felt some fear too. Like, what if I let go? What if I let go of this? What's something, what if I never can get it back? What if I need it sometime? And I was reminded of this experience sitting on the stairs crying when I had a pivotal moment many years later, Unity of Ventura, Keys of the Kingdom class a couple of years ago that Jana and I taught. So there is a week in this program, the Keys of the Kingdom, my favorite week of this program. Having taken it a couple of times and taught it a couple of times, you're instructed to clean out everything, to release all the stuff that's no longer needed. And it's taught so clearly in this program as a spiritual practice. It's a key to the spiritual kingdom, to look through your homes, to clean out your finances, to look and see what you have, what you want to hold on to, and what you want to let go of. It was the hardest week of the class for most people. And we had asked them big things like tithing. I thought that was going to be the hard thing. There was visioning. We did a lot. But the cleaning out week was the hardest because it brought up the resistance to let go. It brought up the resistance. It brought up the lack that if you release something you no longer need, if you release something, what if you do need it someday or somehow, and even as I say this, I think it kind of, there's a craziness to it because it doesn't really make sense. And so it's creating chaos in your space. There was a lack of trust. That's really what it was, a lack of trust. So when you take on this assignment I'm going to give you later, I want you to be reminded of that. This is the law of circulation. We release what we no longer need to open up for something new. That's the purpose of spring cleaning and spring cleaning for the soul, right? Those things that hold energy, they take up mental, emotional space inside of us. So when you take the time to clean out your stuff, your home, your finances, your closets, it's going to free you up for something new. I think this is one of the reasons that we hold on to things. Paradoxically, it's comfortable to keep things the way they are. To face what we have and make choices takes us into unknown territory. It's that vulnerable place of, who will I be? What will I be? How will things be if I let go of some of my precious things? If I really clear things out. One thing that surprised me with my initial lesson in energetic cleaning was how many things I had that held negativity in some way. Like I was saying, those objects that reminded me of past times and people who were no longer in my life for a reason. I had moved on, but I was clinging to these things, something that I wanted to hold on to, but it wasn't good for me. So I'm imagining that most of you remember a few years ago, there was a big deal made with this book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo. Right? How many remember that? I love that book. I just ate it up. So she instructed you to go through everything you owned and pick it up. And you were only to keep those things that speak to your heart and discard items. This was her big thing, that no longer spark joy. I'm just going to stay on that for a moment because I think it's really, really important. When we think about joy, and we connect it to our spiritual practices. To me, that's the sign. Joy is like, that's the ultimate sign that we're on the right path, that Spirit is speaking and working through us, that we're making good choices. So it's pretty simple when you get right down to it, why that book was such a hit, because I think on some level we all resonated. We knew that that's true, but it's not easy. So when I took this on a few years ago, after having read that book, I cleaned out my clothes closet. And one of the things that shocked me was I found out how much guilt was just hanging out in my closet. Guilt is such a heavy energy. And it was hanging right there on the hangers in my closet. As I took things out one by one, I was amazed at one of them, that some of them said to me, because my clothes do talk sometimes. They said things like, you never should have bought me. You should have known I was wrong. You spent way too much on me and now you never wear me. Right? Guilting me. Like some nagging relative. The strange part was how hard, even knowing the truth about the negative energy and it clogs up the work in my soul, I still had trouble letting go of those things. I did. I had to put some of them away just temporarily. But there were things that I didn't like, I didn't use. Some of them had seen better days. Is this making sense? It's really simple. It can seem really simple again, cleaning out our space. But there is a whole way that when we clean our physical space, our homes, clean out our finances. I love to always add that in because it's a big one. Your yard, your garage. It's going to free up space in your mind, in your heart, open you up for new possibilities. And I promise you this, if you really do this, it's going to bring peace to your soul. So when I was finished working with that cleaning out coach all those years ago, something magical did happen to me. And I don't even know if I can explain it even now. I was sitting when I was writing this sermon, like, how do I even describe the profound shift that I had once I was free of all that stuff? I had collected record albums and artifacts and clothing and collections, all these things that held so much energy, but I was no longer using. They were no longer of use to me. And when I released them, the house sold. It just sold quickly, easily. The energy had been cleared up in that space and in me. I moved into my new home unencumbered. And now there was this new space to fill. And that's another aspect of cleaning things out. When you clean out, you do that spring cleaning for the soul, the law of circulation happens, right? The law of circulation says that when you release what you have, you make room for something new. Nature abhors a vacuum. So they say it's important to be mindful of what you want to fill the space with. Not more stuff, right? Not more stuff. It's important to allow yourself to open the space and then receive. Ask for your highest good. Listen to that wisdom in your soul. What do you want to fill the space with? Whether it's nothing, maybe, or just a few things that you love. Here was the shocker for me. In my new house, I actually found myself, the person who had been blocked by all that stuff. The physical stuff being just a reflection of all I was holding on to. And as I released my stuff, I found my mind was clearer and it was much easier to connect with my soul. My relationship with spirit was cleaner as well. That's why this is a spiritual practice. Yeah. It was as if I had cleared away the noise that distracted me from that spiritual truth. As I released and cleaned up my physical space, I connected to my soul, and at that time, I began to make new choices that were more in alignment with who I was and what I wanted. Okay, so take that one. When you go out into the world and you take this assignment of cleaning out your space that I'm going to give you, be mindful of when you clear the space that you see what's true for you now. And you begin making choices from that place. I made some big changes. This was a big one for me. This included, I actually moved out of that house after almost just a year, a little more than a year, right? That house was a temporary holding place. It had moved me forward. I moved to California and I began creating my dream life. And that one simple but hard exercise was a part of it. Because I had already released so much, it was much easier for me to release other things that weren't working for me. So that's a pretty dramatic example of what can happen when you take the time to do some spring cleaning for your soul. Have you bought into this yet? I hope so. I do. I really do. It's been so meaningful, this ritual for me. I do it several times a year: fall cleaning, winter cleaning, summer cleaning. So it's become a regular practice because I find the more that I do it, the more that I stay in touch with what's right, with what's true. I release negativity, but that law of circulation just I'm in it. When I release, I'm in the law. The law of circulation takes over, right? Open to receive. I do this in the coaching groups that I lead at least once a year. It's a seminal practice. I help them clean out their business closets, relationship closets, financial closets, emotional closets, spiritual closets. I love the metaphor of a closet. It's so, then when you clean out the physical space and you think about the closets that you have in your life that you can clean out at the same time. The easiest way I know to really move forward and grow in your spirituality and in who you really are wanting to be in the world is to start with your physical space with the intention of doing some spring cleaning for your soul. So I'm going to begin here. I'm going to add to this assignment as I go. I have a few parts to it. So here we go. With the intention of doing some spring cleaning for your soul, I'm asking you to take the time to open your closets, your garages, your drawers, your basements, whatever. It could be just something little. Some of the people in our class, actually, they just decided to do a drawer. It can be just as powerful. You have some drawer that has lots. Just open it up and start cleaning it out and notice. Kind of notice what's in there. What is it that you're tempted, you feel lack around? What is it that brings you joy, sparks joy, gosh, celebrate that. Notice the cleaning that happens in your mind as you clean out your physical space. Now, I'm going to check in with you about this. I'm going to check in with you in a couple of weeks. So I really love if you would take this on as a spiritual assignment. It's the most perfect time to do it as we move into spring and Easter's coming, right? Take on a cleaning project that's going to clean things up and notice what happens between you and spirit. Now, there's another part to this assignment. So there's the basic take on something to clean out. All right. How many of you are willing to do that? I want to see hands, even though I know we can't see everybody. Get your hand up there. Okay. You're going to clean something out. There was one assignment that I took on that's in the Keys to the Kingdom. Powerful, powerful. And I really want you to listen to how this assignment goes. And whether you do it or not, right in this moment, just feel what it would feel like. What might be happening for you? I believe to get the full impact of the power of releasing stuff, that energy that holds, that stuff holds, what is possible when we let go is to follow this lesson from the Keys of the Kingdom and choose something you really like, something that's precious to you. And that though you really like it, you know it's time to let it go, right? Something you love. It could be something valuable. Imagine that. Like I might be asking you to really take a look, but something you really like, but it's time to let it go. Can you feel that in your heart right now? Ooh. So here's the assignment. Give it away to someone. I'm sorry that the guy who wrote the Keys to the Kingdom, his name keeps escaping me. Ritz is the last name. Anyway, I can hear him just talking about this. He recommends doing it anonymously, but you can just give it to somebody if that feels better to you. So when I did this exercise, I chose one of my most expensive pieces of jewelry, and I really liked it a lot. It was beautiful, yet I never wore it. I admired it hanging on my jewelry tree on my dresser, but when I went looking for what to give away, there it was. I didn't want to give it away. I liked it. I spent a lot of money on it. I knew it was just the right thing because as soon as I decided to give it away, that wisdom came through me. That fear. Oh, I had a fear I would never be able to afford anything like it again. That necklace was holding energy of lack. And that's what I had been looking at every day as I admired it. There was this a couple of other messages like it's foolish to give things away, right? Like I had a limiting belief, like you're not supposed to give things away, but when it actually is a spiritual practice, that's a spiritual practice of tithing as we give. So I put that piece of jewelry into our church auction that year. Now I had done it several times before this one because I took the class a few years earlier, but this was the year where I was like, okay, I'm really going to give away something precious. I put it into the church auction and I watched as our very own Reverend Kathy stalked it out and claimed it as her own. There was talk about sparking joy, and to this day she wears that piece of jewelry. And that's just, you don't have to know that. But that was the magical experience that happened for me that really cemented this practice. Because you never know when you release something, you're going to learn something about yourself and you're going to pass it on to someone else. And there's going to be a whole new energy with that. So I have made this a yearly practice. And every time I learn something new, I make an open space for something new and better to take its place. So that's your assignment. Find something you like and give it away to someone you know or anonymously. And notice the lessons that come, the space that opens up. And most importantly, what do you choose to receive, to fill that space, right? And take on that bigger project. So there's the project in the project. Take on this project if you are so called to learn the lesson and to have the experience of spring cleaning for your soul. And for that, I am so grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Amen.
Dancing around you, those butterflies love you. It's beautiful, it's magical. Lightly and freely, so happy they make me when they sing to you, cling to you, bring to you such joy. Coming down, walls fall all around. Without a sound, I can hear your song. I feel your song. It draws us, it holds us, stays with us and folds us until there's nothing else, nothing left to feel except this joy. But this cocoon's so safe and warm, not sure I'm ready for something more to take over now. Stay with me here, I need you near me now. And when it's your turn to isolate, for you somehow I'll always find the strength. Baby, I'll be right here. No, I'm not going anywhere. I know the best is still ahead. You'll see. And butterflies dance beautifully.
And now, join me in putting our virtual hands together as we acknowledge Smitty, Julia, and the Unity Band for their inspiring and delightful music. We are so grateful and blessed by what you bring to us each and every week. So thank you so much for that one. And now is a time in our service where we get to practice the spiritual law of circulation, which is about supporting the place, giving back to the place that nourishes us spiritually. It's this back and forth, keeping things in motion in the universe. So today we are asking and offering you the opportunity to give to Unity of Ventura. And you can go to unityofventura.org to do that. There is a very friendly orange button on the homepage that says donate, and then we'll guide you through the process. Another great way that I would offer is for those of us who use Amazon to purchase various and sundry items. The Amazon Smile process, just go into Amazon Smile. You can sign up with Unity of Ventura, and a small portion of everything you purchase on Amazon will come to support the ministry here at Unity of Ventura. Just know that however you give, it is greatly appreciated. And now I invite you to hold your gift in your hand and in your heart, literally or virtually, as we bless it with our offering blessing. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I give. And divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I receive. And dear God, we give great thanks for the gifts that are being offered today and every single day, knowing that they will be used to further the work of God through this ministry. And we bless each giver, knowing that they have given to us from a place of loving kindness and faith. We affirm that each giver is being richly blessed in magnificent, magical, wondrous ways for sharing of their prosperity and honoring this law of circulation. And as we begin to close our service today, we extend great thanks to the Reverend Kat Knecht for her lesson, for the results we will get as we practice her lesson. We're grateful, as always, to the Unity Band and Choir for their ongoing musical inspiration. We are blessed. And we are blessed to our video wizard, Smitty West, for his behind-the-scenes work and magic in bringing these services to you each and every week. Thank you, Smitty. Thank you to all the volunteers. And thank you to the Unity Prayer Team. So for those of you who may be in need of prayer, the prayer team is available to you on our website, unityofventura.org. And they will hold your prayer in a very sacred way, in whatever way you wish. You can connect with them personally, have a conversation, pray together. You can leave a prayer there that will be held and responded to, or a prayer that just will be held. But big shout out to Unity of Ventura Prayer Team for the great work that they do. And as always, we are especially grateful for each and every one of you who is here today. For those of you who are watching this on another day, thank you. It wouldn't be Unity of Ventura without you. Thank you, God, for all these blessings. And so it is. Amen. And I'd like to remind you that we'd love to have you join us after the prayer for peace and the peace song that we conclude all of our services with. Join us for a virtual salon, a spiritual salon in our hospitality. And be sure to come back next week. Till then, thank you and God bless you.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as our creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let
us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.